Of all the mortal races, none can lay a better claim to mastery of steel and stone than the dwarfs of the mountains. Their patience, commitment to perfection, and instinctive understanding of how to use the mineral bounties of their homes makes even the most mundane items leagues better than a similar human creation. With these traits alone, the Dawi would still be amongst the most competent craftspeople of the world, but it is by the work of their runesmiths that the sons of Grungni can truly claim their position as mastersmiths of the world. No artifact of the dwarfs is more representative of the supremacy than the Throne of Power, seat of the High King, and symbol of the Karazankor. Crafted over 7,000 years ago by the ancestor god Grungni himself, the Throne of Power has been tied to the history of the Dwarven realm since the time of Snorri Whitebeard. It's a symbol of the power of the High King, more revered than any enchanted armor, weapon, or crown. Only the Damaz Kron, or the Great Book of Grudges, hold as much weight as this historic artifact in the entirety of the Karazankor. As befits the primary symbol of the High King of the Dwarfs, the Throne of Power is one of the most beautiful items to ever grace the Warhammer world. Carved from a block of granite, clad in grommeril and gold, and studded with countless jewels, the throne is a reminder that the dwarfs are the true masters of the underworld's riches. Beasts of legend are sculpted from its golden coating, rising from the throne as if to escape its metal confines and savage the enemies of the Dawi. The sculptures' mouths are made out of rose gold, their teeth hammered from the finest of silver, and their eyes made of expertly shaped agate, lapis lazuli, and sapphire. A lectern carved in the form of two great dragons is positioned before the seat, perfectly shaped to hold the Great Book of Grudges so that the king may study it at all times. The Throne of Power's appearance is so grand that the very sight of it inspires dwarfs to new heights of determination. The Throne of Power is not merely some ritually significant piece of art, however. As aesthetically minded as the Dawi may be, they are also intensely practical, so it stands to reason that the symbol of their people would serve an additional purpose. The throne is a weapon of war, heavily laden with enchantments and runes of protection. Mortal weapons cannot harm it, and the few dents and scratches it does bear are the work of mighty dragons and greater demons. Any attempts to strike the throne are repulsed by a golden flash of light and a blast of force. This protection extends to those around the throne, making the High King nigh invulnerable when he rides it into battle atop the shoulders of his throne bearers. Only the strongest of Longbeards and Hammerers in the entirety of the Karazankor are given the honor of being a throne bearer. They are charged with attending the High King at all times, carrying the seat with him even during peace, for if the king ever wishes to sit, he must do so on the Throne of Power. No other seat can bear the weight of the High King of the Dwarfs, for upon his shoulders rests the fate of the entire dwarfen race. Anything less than the throne would crack under that burden. To be a throne bearer is a great privilege, but it is an even greater responsibility. They are sworn to never abandon the throne or its rider, and in all 7,000 years of the throne's existence, only one dwarf, Forkhelm Silverbeard, has been so cowardly as to forsake this oath. While Forkhelm was never seen again, his entire family was so ashamed by their kin's actions that they exiled themselves to the Darklands in penance. Though many runes contribute to the throne's power, the most critical is the Rune of Azamar, or the Rune of Eternity. Forged by Grungni, the Rune of Eternity is so potent that only one can exist at any given time. There is literally not enough magic in the world to power two of them. It is Azamar that makes the throne a symbol of the Dwarfen realms, as Grungni declared his people's fate bound to the rune upon its completion. So long as Azamar is still intact, the Karazankor can never truly fall. The Throne of Power has borne many high kings throughout the ages, but its current rider is Thorgrim Grudgebearer. An accomplished warrior and commander, Thorgrim has overseen many campaigns from atop the throne. Its enchantments have let him overpower numerous enemies of the Dawi, casting their ruined armies back to whence they came. That is not to say that the Dwarf King is only an accomplished warrior with the aid of the throne. On several occasions he has descended from his seat to crush enemies that he saw as beneath him, such as when he slew the orc war boss Gorfang Rotgut in single combat. Still, he is no fool, and when facing an opponent he considers truly dangerous, Thorgrim is more than content to hew their heads from their bodies while sitting atop the throne. On Tabletop, in 8th edition at least, the Throne of Power could only be taken by Thorgrim Grudgebearer. In turn, he could not be taken without it. It gave the Grudgebearer a high ward save, one of the highest armor saves in the game, and as many wounds as a Star Dragon. The throne also made Thorgrim's leadership aura huge, as befits the most impressive dwarf king since Snorri Whitebeard himself. Unfortunately, all this gave Thorgrim an incredibly high price tag in points, which made him exceptionally difficult to field in battle and still have an army behind him. In Total War Warhammer, the Throne of Power is simply part of Thorgrim's model. It's the rationale behind giving him a higher mass and hit point pool than other Dwarf Lords, but has little impact on the game beyond that. All of Thorgrim's ward save and additional armor comes from the items he obtains in his quest battles. It's slightly disappointing that the most powerful relics of the Dwarfs isn't more impressive in the game, but it's better than making it a mount that needs to be unlocked at later levels. The king cannot be seen without his throne. A simple fix for this underwhelming Throne of Power representation would be to give Thorgrim something like a 20% physical resistance or ward save value at the beginning of the game to kind of represent the protective power of the throne. Alternatively, there could be a unique skill for Thorgrim that grants him a similar bonus, 20%, 15%, something in that range. This would better represent the power of such a mighty artifact, and has been done before in mods like Steelfaith Overhaul / Grimhammer, at least in Warhammer 2. It might also make the High King a useful unit in domination mode, though it would take a lot more than that to give the dwarfs any teeth in multiplayer. And as usual, the conclusion of the Total War section of the video brings us to the end of the video as a whole. This has been an overview of the Throne of Power and our Items of Legend series. I'm still workshopping that name, so if anyone has a suggestion, I am all ears. Anyways, I hope this dwarf-centered video appeases the Longbeards grumbling in the comments section. I myself love dwarfs, so I'm happy to finally get a video of them on the channel. Keep suggesting things you want to see in the future, though this month's schedule is still going to be full of ghosts and ghouls. Until next time, this has been Sigmar's Chosen, signing off for now.